The rescue team was ordered to search elsewhere, but the dog refused to move, sitting silently beside a mangled car, half buried in snow. When they finally opened the wreckage, what they found inside left even the most seasoned rescuers in tears. Now, before we get into today's story, drop a comment below telling us where in the world you're watching from. And if you love extraordinary police dog stories like this one, make sure to hit that subscribe button. You won't want to miss what's coming next. The Sierra Nevada mountains stood like ancient sentinels against the metallic gray sky, their jagged peaks already dusted with the early winter snow. At the Placer County Search and Rescue headquarters, veteran team members moved with practiced efficiency as the forecast called for another major storm system by nightfall. The scent of pine and coffee filled the air as rescue workers checked equipment and studied maps. Anna Williams zipped her bright orange SAR jacket, her weathered face a map of experience etched over 15 years of mountain rescues. A small scar above her right eyebrow from a rock slide during a rescue 3 years prior had become barely noticeable to those who worked with her daily. Beside her, Rufus sat at perfect attention, his German Shepherd and Border Collie heritage evident in his intelligent amber eyes. The 5-year-old rescue dog had been restless since dawn, behavior he typically only exhibited before difficult missions. "You sensing something today, buddy?" Anna murmured, noticing the subtle change in her partner's demeanor. She scratched behind his ears, feeling the slight tremble in his muscles that indicated heightened awareness. Commander Davis strode into the equipment room, radio crackling at his shoulder. His face bore the grim expression of a man who had seen too many mountain tragedies over the years. "Williams, Highway Patrol reported a vehicle that likely went off Canyon Road during last night's storm. No confirmed location yet, but the reporting party saw headlight reflections before losing sight of them." Anna nodded, mentally mapping the area, a treacherous stretch of mountain highway with sharp switchbacks and steep drop-offs that had claimed more than its share of victims over the years. "Any information on occupants?" "Single vehicle, unknown number of passengers. Last cell ping suggests a blue sedan with California plates. Air support can't fly in these conditions, so we're deploying ground teams." Davis glanced at the darkening sky. "We've got maybe 6 hours before the next front hits." Anna checked Rufus's specialized rescue harness. Attaching the emergency medical pouch that contained basic supplies she might need to stabilize survivors, the dog stood perfectly still during this ritual, understanding its importance through years of training and field experience. Outside, the first advanced snowflakes began to fall as Anna scratched behind Rufus's ears, the pre-mission ritual that centered them both. "Let's go find them, boy," she whispered. The convoy of search vehicles wound its way up Canyon Road, windshield wipers battling the increasingly heavy snowfall. The gray-white landscape seemed to swallow all color, creating a monochromatic world where distances became deceptive and landmarks disappeared under the steadily accumulating snow. Beside Anna, Rufus remained unusually alert, his eyes fixed on the passing landscape. "He seems especially focused today," remarked technician Mike Foster from the driver's seat. "Somehow seems to know this one's important." "He's been like this since before we got the call," Anna replied. "Sometimes I swear he knows things before they happen." The convoy pulled into a staging area at mile marker 19, where highway patrol officers had established a perimeter. Yellow incident tape fluttered in the strengthening wind as first responders huddled around a portable command table, steam rising from coffee cups clutched in gloved hands. Officer Rodriguez gestured toward the roadway. "We found some glass fragments about a quarter-mile up. Trajectory suggests the vehicle could have gone over anywhere along this 2-mile stretch." "Any tire tracks?" Anna asked, scanning the roadside drop-offs that plunged hundreds of feet into dense forest and rocky terrain. "Last night's precipitation washed most evidence away." Rodriguez shook his head. "If the vehicle went deep into the ravine." Commander Davis distributed search grid assignments, pointing to sections of a topographical map. Team 1 takes the immediate perimeter. Team 2 heads down the main ravine. "Williams, your team covers the eastern slope. Stay in radio contact." As Anna secured Rufus's tracking harness, the dog pulled sharply toward the eastern ridge, away from their assigned search area. "Whoa, buddy, not yet," Anna said, gently correcting him back to her side. "We need to start at the deployment point." "Rufus is showing interest in the eastern section already," Anna noted to Davis. "Might be worth concentrating resources there." The commander frowned slightly. "The probability models suggest the southwest ravine as highest likelihood. Let's stick to the assignments. We don't have manpower to chase hunches with this weather closing in." 20 minutes later, Anna and Rufus made their way down the designated slope, accompanied by paramedic Jeff Reyes. The terrain was treacherous. Loose shale covered with fresh snow made each step precarious, and the thick pine forest limited visibility to mere yards. The temperature continued to drop as they descended, their breath forming small clouds with each exhalation. Rufus continually veered eastward, pulling against his lead toward a distant ridge outside their search zone. His normally relaxed working demeanor had been replaced by an urgency Anna had rarely seen. "Something's got his attention over there," Jeff observed as Rufus again changed direction. "I've worked with a lot of SAR dogs, but I've never seen one this determined to break pattern." "I've never seen him this focused either," Anna admitted, checking their position against the GPS coordinates. She keyed her radio. "Base, this is Williams. Rufus is showing strong directional alert toward the eastern ridge. Request permission to follow his indication." "Negative, Williams," Davis's voice crackled. "3 other teams are already reporting possible signs in their sectors. Maintain your assigned grid. Over." Anna hesitated, watching Rufus. The dog had stopped pulling and now stood staring at her, his posture communicating a clear message she'd learned to read over years of partnership. "There's something important, and you're not listening." "Copy that," she responded finally, then clicked off the radio. Jeff raised an eyebrow. "So we're sticking to the grid?" Anna looked from the GPS to Rufus, then to the darkening sky that promised the approaching storm's fury. 15 years of experience and training told her to follow protocol, but 3 years with Rufus had taught her something equally valuable. Sometimes instinct transcended logic. "No," she decided. "We're following Rufus." "Davis isn't going to like this," Jeff warned, though he was already adjusting his medical backpack to follow. "You could get written up for this." "I'll take full responsibility," Anna replied, releasing tension on Rufus's lead. "Find them, boy. Show me." The change in Rufus was immediate and dramatic. With newfound freedom, he bounded forward with purpose, pausing occasionally to ensure his humans were following but never deviating from his chosen direction. He led them away from the search grid, across a small stream partially frozen at the edges, and up a game trail that wound along a ridge most rescue workers would have dismissed as too distant from the accident site. As they followed Rufus's determined path, Anna recalled how this extraordinary dog had come into her life 3 years earlier. During another rescue operation, Anna had separated briefly from her team to check an abandoned hunter's cabin. A faint whimper had led her to discover a terrified puppy, no more than 12 weeks old, so severely malnourished that every rib showed through his dull coat. How he had survived alone in this remote location remained a mystery. There was no sign of a mother dog or siblings. "You're a survivor, aren't you?" she had whispered, carefully extracting the trembling animal from his hiding place. Despite his condition, he hadn't shown fear or aggression, instead fixing her with an intelligent gaze that seemed too knowing for a dog so young. The mission's primary objective ended in tragedy, but Anna returned to base with an unexpected companion who rapidly became the center of a debate among the SR team. Protocol dictated that stray animals be turned over to county animal services, not adopted by team members who needed professionally bred and trained dogs. "He's a mixed breed with unknown background," her supervisor had argued. "Search work requires specific genetic traits and disposition. We can't waste resources training a rescue mutt that might wash out." Anna had been prepared to resign over the issue, something about the puppy's unusually focused demeanor convincing her he was special. The compromise eventually reached allowed her to foster and begin preliminary training. with the understanding that he would be evaluated against the same standards as the purpose-bred SAR dogs. She named him Rufus, and from the first day of training, it became apparent he was extraordinary. He mastered basic obedience commands with minimal repetition, and when introduced to scent detection work, he outperformed dogs with years more experience, demonstrating an ability to track human scent over distances and in conditions that challenged even veteran SAR animals. The most remarkable moment came during his final certification exercise. The training scenario involved finding a volunteer victim hidden in a densely wooded area. Rufus ignored the carefully laid trail and instead circled the search area entirely, then darted into a section of forest outside the training boundaries. Anna had followed, apologizing to the frustrated evaluators, certain her chances of keeping Rufus were evaporating with this apparent failure. Instead, they discovered Rufus sitting attentively beside an elderly man who had become disoriented while mushroom hunting and had been missing for nearly 7 hours. A real victim in the midst of the training exercise, one no one had known was there. "I've been doing this 30 years, the lead evaluator had said, watching paramedics treat the hypothermic mushroom hunter. "Never seen anything like it. Your dog ignored the training scenario because he detected someone who actually needed help." 30 minutes into their unauthorized detour, with no sign of vehicle debris and the radio repeatedly crackling with Davis's increasingly irritated requests for position updates, even Anna's confidence began to waver. The snow was falling more heavily now, visibility dropping by the minute as the promised storm arrived ahead of schedule. "Anna, we need to head back," Jeff said, checking his watch and the rapidly deteriorating conditions, storms moving in faster than predicted. He stopped mid-sentence as Rufus froze, then gave a sharp, distinctive bark that Anna recognized immediately, the alert sound that meant he had found human scent. "He's got something," she said, all doubt vanishing as she moved quickly to join her partner. Rufus stopped abruptly at a ravine's edge, barking sharply. Once, twice, 3 times. The specific cadence was part of his trained alert sequence, signaling human scent detected. Anna scanned the slope below with binoculars. At first, the swirling snow revealed nothing but rocky terrain. Then, as the wind temporarily eased, she caught a glimpse of something unnatural. A glint of metal, perhaps 100 yards down, partially obscured by a fallen tree. "There," she pointed. "Looks like vehicle debris." As they descended, more evidence of a vehicle accident became visible. Broken glass, twisted metal, frozen automotive fluid. A side mirror lay partially buried in snow, its housing cracked, but the glass still intact. "This is fresh," Anna observed, examining a broken tree branch with exposed, unseasoned wood. "From the last day or two." When they rounded a large boulder, the full scene finally came into view, and Anna's breath caught in her throat. A dark blue sedan lay crushed and crumpled at the bottom of the ravine, having apparently rolled multiple times during its descent. The vehicle's roof was partially collapsed, all windows shattered, the passenger compartment compressed to nearly half its normal height. A light dusting of fresh snow had begun to cover the wreckage, suggesting it had been there since the previous night's storm. "My God," Jeff whispered, immediately switching to paramedic mode as he assessed the scene. "No way anyone walked away from that." Rufus, however, was already at the car, circling it with purpose before sitting down firmly beside the rear driver's side door, his unmistakable indication for a confirmed find. Anna keyed her radio. "Base, this is Williams. We've located the vehicle approximately 200 feet down the eastern ravine. Rufus is indicating at least one occupant." Jeff peered through the shattered windows. "I can't see anyone inside. Driver's area is completely crushed." Yet Rufus remained fixed in position, his behavior growing more insistent. He barked again, then pawed at the crushed rear door, his message unmistakable. "Someone is in here." "If there was a driver, they couldn't have survived this," Jeff said quietly. "Maybe they were ejected?" But Rufus wasn't moving. His behavior had shifted to a particular intensity that Anna had seen only a few times before, indicating not just the presence of a person, but someone still alive. "He thinks someone's alive in there," she said, moving to the section Rufus indicated. The rear passenger compartment while severely damaged, had maintained slightly more structural integrity than the front seats. "That's not possible," Jeff insisted, though he was already retrieving medical supplies. "The trauma from a roll like this—" His words were cut short by a sound so faint it was nearly lost in the wind. A whimper from inside the crushed vehicle. Anna crouched beside the section, pressing her ear against the least damaged part. For several seconds, she heard nothing but the howling wind and her own heartbeat. Then it came again, unmistakably human, unmistakably alive. A faint cry from within the mangled metal. "Someone's in there," she confirmed, a surge of adrenaline cutting through her earlier fatigue. "And they're alive." With the storm intensifying and extraction teams at least 40 minutes away, Anna made a quick decision. "We can't wait. Whoever's inside has already been exposed to freezing temperatures for hours." From the medical pack, Jeff produced thermal blankets and basic first aid supplies, while Anna assembled the elements of her personal rescue kit, a hydraulic spreader bar, glass-breaking tool, and compact cutting equipment. "We need to stabilize the car first," Jeff warned, eyeing the precarious positioning. "One wrong move and it could slide further." They worked methodically despite the urgency, using rocks and fallen branches to chock the vehicle's wheels and prevent movement. The snow began to accumulate on their shoulders and equipment as they labored, the wind cutting through their protective clothing with increasing bite. Anna kept one eye on Rufus, who maintained his steadfast position by the rear door, occasionally pawing at the crushed metal when the sounds from inside grew more distinct, faint whimpers that tore at Anna's heart. With the vehicle as secure as possible, given their limited equipment, they focused on creating an access point. The rear window had shattered on impact, but the collapsed roof had reduced the opening to a gap barely 6 inches wide, not nearly enough to extract a victim or even properly assess their condition. Anna positioned the compact spreader against the least damaged section of the frame. "We need just enough room to see what we're dealing with without compromising what's left of the structure," Jeff nodded, bracing the opposite side to prevent uneven movement as Anna activated the hydraulic tool. The metal groaned in protest, ice cracking as the pressure slowly widened the gap by precious centimeters. Through the opening, they could now see the interior was dark and filled with deployed airbags, scattered belongings, and broken glass, but no immediately visible passenger. "Flashlight," Anna called, and Jeff handed her his high-powered beam. She directed it through the widened gap, scanning the interior while speaking loudly. "This is search and rescue. Can anyone hear me?" The response wasn't a voice, but another whimper, clearer now with the improved access and distinctly coming from the rear passenger footwell area. Rufus barked sharply, confirming Anna's growing suspicion about the nature of the sounds. "Jeff, I think it might be a child," she said, angling the light beam lower. "The sounds don't match an injured adult." The paramedic's expression tightened with renewed urgency. Pediatric victims complicated everything. Smaller bodies, more vulnerable to hypothermia, different medical protocols, greater care needed during extraction to prevent further injury. The light beam finally caught something unexpected. The distinct shape of a rear-facing car seat, partially obscured by the collapsed roof, but apparently still secured to the vehicle. Within it, barely visible through the tangle of safety straps and deployed side curtain airbags, Anna glimpsed movement, tiny fingers flexing. "There's a baby," she gasped. "Infant in a car seat, rear passenger side." The discovery electrified their efforts. Jeff immediately prepared pediatric medical supplies while providing a situation update over the radio. The response was immediate. A medical evacuation helicopter was being dispatched, despite the dangerous conditions, with an experienced NICU team aboard. "We need a bigger access point," Anna determined, studying the vehicle's crushed frame. The car seat appeared to be wedged in place by the collapsed roof, but remarkably, the surrounding airbags had created a protective cocoon around the infant. "The car seat is actually protecting the baby, but we can't extract without removing it first." Using the spreading tool again, they carefully widened the rear window opening a few more critical centimeters. The metal groaned alarmingly. Small shifts in the vehicle's position sending cascades of snow and loose rock down the ravine. That's all we can risk, Jeff warned. Any more pressure, and we might lose what structural integrity remains. The gap was now approximately 10 inches at its widest point. Still not enough to extract a car seat, but sufficient for Anna to reach inside with one arm. Removing her bulky outer glove, she carefully extended her hand toward the infant, speaking in soft, reassuring tones. "Hey there, little one, we're here to help you. Going to get you somewhere warm and safe." Her fingers made contact with impossibly soft skin. Cold to the touch, but not dangerously so. The infant responded with a weak cry, more movement visible as tiny arms reached toward the human contact. Despite the dire circumstances, Anna felt a surge of hope. The baby was responsive, which was a promising sign after hours of exposure. "No visible trauma where I can reach," Anna reported after a careful assessment. The car seat and airbags created an insulated pocket, and they're wearing a snowsuit that probably saved their life. Working with one arm through the opening, Anna managed to locate the car seat release mechanism. The challenge came in maneuvering the seat through the narrow gap without causing further collapse of the unstable roof section. Throughout the delicate procedure, Rufus remained vigilant, his behavior shifting from alert to protective. When the vehicle creaked ominously during a particularly tense moment of the extraction, the dog positioned himself to brace against potential movement, using his body as an additional stabilizing force. "Almost there," Anna murmured, carefully angling the car seat toward the opening. "Just need to clear this last section of twisted metal without catching the harness." With a final careful maneuver, the car seat emerged through the gap. Inside, bundled in a now dirty pink snowsuit, was a baby girl approximately 14 months old. Her face was pale and tear-streaked, but her eyes were alert, focusing immediately on her rescuers. "Hey there, brave girl," Jeff said softly, his trained hands already checking vital signs while Anna wrapped thermal blankets around the car seat. "You're going to be okay now." The baby's vital signs were remarkably stable, given the circumstances. Pulse slightly elevated but strong, respiration regular, skin cool but not dangerously cold. The car seat, designed to absorb impact forces, had performed beyond its intended parameters, protecting its precious cargo even as the vehicle around it had crumpled under the tremendous forces of the rollover. As Jeff secured the infant for transport, Anna turned her attention back to the vehicle. "We need to check for other victims. There must have been a driver." The driver's compartment had been compressed to a space incompatible with survival, yet strangely, there was no evidence of an occupant. Before Anna could investigate further, Rufus suddenly abandoned his position by the vehicle, moving with renewed purpose down the slope, his nose working intensively against the wind, suggesting there was still someone to find. "He's tracking," Anna said. "Someone else is out here." 30 yards from the wreckage, Rufus stopped abruptly, circling a small area, then began pawing urgently at what appeared to be merely another snowdrift against a fallen log. Anna began clearing away snow, soon uncovering fabric that matched the wrecked vehicle. Working quickly, she revealed an arm, then a leg, then the outline of a torso. A woman lay half buried in the snow, pinned beneath the massive fallen tree trunk. "Female victim located," Anna reported, checking for vital signs. To her shock, she detected a faint pulse at the woman's neck. "She's alive! Jeff, she's alive!" The woman appeared to be in her early 30s, with dark hair matted with blood from a head laceration. Her skin was dangerously pale, lips tinged with blue, but small clouds of vapor from her shallow breaths confirmed she was indeed clinging to life, despite hours exposed to freezing temperatures. Jeff quickly assessed her condition: severe hypothermia, probable internal injuries, definite fracture to the left femur. The cold may have actually saved her by slowing blood loss, but we need to move her immediately. The fallen tree trunk, at least 2 feet in diameter, had trapped her left leg completely. As the woman's pulse faltered, They couldn't wait for specialized equipment. Using a sturdy branch as a makeshift lever, Anna positioned an improvised system to lift the tree trunk just enough to free the trapped limb. "On three," she instructed Jeff. "One, two, three!" Anna threw her full weight onto the lever, muscles straining as the massive log shifted slightly, just enough for Jeff to extract the woman's crushed leg. The extraction team arrived soon after, bringing advanced medical equipment. As they worked to stabilize the woman, Anna made a connection. "The baby. She must be the mother. She wasn't ejected from the vehicle. She was trying to get help." The realization was stunning. This woman had somehow survived the catastrophic crash, extracted herself from the mangled vehicle, and begun making her way up the steep slope toward the road. All with severe injuries, in freezing conditions, leaving her child secured in the vehicle rather than risking carrying her through the dangerous terrain. "She made it almost 100 feet, Jeff said in disbelief. "With these injuries, that should have been impossible." As they prepared to move the woman, her eyelids fluttered briefly. Anna leaned closer, taking her cold hand. "You're safe now. We found you, and we found your baby. She's okay. You both made it." The woman's fingers seemed to tighten slightly around Anna's before she slipped back into unconsciousness. The emergency department of Placer County Medical Center buzzed with controlled urgency as the trauma team worked on the woman, now identified as Rebecca Miller. Anna sat in the waiting area, Rufus lying exhausted but attentive at her feet. The storm outside rattled the windows, transforming what had been a routine search into one of the most remarkable rescues of her career. "Coffee?" Commander Davis appeared, holding 2 steaming cups, his earlier frustration about protocol violations completely evaporated. "You did good work out there, Williams. Both of you did." "Any update on their conditions?" Anna asked, accepting the coffee gratefully. "The baby's doing remarkably well. Moderate hypothermia, some dehydration, but no apparent injuries from the crash. The mother's critical but stable. Multiple fractures, including a severe compound fracture of the left femur, 3 broken ribs, internal bleeding, and a significant head injury. She's in surgery now. The fact she survived at all is being called medically extraordinary." A doctor emerged from the treatment area. "Officer Williams, I'm Dr. Patel, Pediatric Emergency Medicine. I wanted to update you on Emma Miller." "How is she?" Anna asked, standing up. "Remarkably well, considering what she's been through," Dr. Patel smiled. "Her core temperature is almost back to normal, and all neurological responses are appropriate for her age." "That's wonderful news," Anna said, relief evident in her voice. "The car seat protected her during the crash, but something else protected her from the cold," Dr. Patel continued, holding up a woman's winter coat, its lining torn open in places. This was wrapped around her snowsuit, providing an additional insulation layer. Based on the damage pattern to the mother's clothing, she took off her own coat and wrapped it around the child before leaving the vehicle. The revelation struck Anna deeply. Rebecca Miller hadn't just survived the unsurvivable. She had prioritized her child's survival over her own, giving up her primary cold weather protection. Before attempting to find help, she sacrificed her own chances to increase her daughter's, Anna said quietly. 3 weeks later, Anna returned to the hospital with Rufus wearing his therapy dog vest. Rebecca Miller's room was decorated with colorful cards and well wishes from people who had been touched by the story of her miraculous rescue. The woman sitting up in the adjustable bed bore little resemblance to the critically injured victim they had pulled from beneath the fallen tree. Though still pale and visibly thinner, Rebecca was alert. Her dark hair neatly pulled back, her eyes clear and focused. A complex external fixator still encased her left leg, and healing scars were visible along her hairline, but the transformation was remarkable. "Officer Williams," Rebecca smiled, her voice stronger than Anna had expected. "And Rufus, please, come in." In a portable crib beside the bed, Emma played contentedly with colorful toys, occasionally babbling happy nonsense as she caught sight of her mother. The child showed no visible signs of her ordeal, her chubby cheeks pink with health, her eyes bright with the resilience only the very young possess. "You're looking much better than the last time I saw you," Anna said, approaching the bed while Rufus sat politely at the threshold, awaiting permission to enter further. "Thanks to you and your amazing partner," Rebecca replied, her gaze shifting to Rufus. "Is it okay if he comes closer?" Anna nodded. "Rufus, visit," she commanded softly, and the dog moved forward with gentle dignity, his demeanor completely different from his working mode. He approached the bed carefully, allowing Rebecca to extend her hand toward him. "You saved us," Rebecca said simply, her fingers gently stroking Rufus's head. "The doctor said Emma and I had minutes left, not hours, when you found us." "Rufus found you," Anna corrected. "He insisted on searching that area despite it being outside our assigned grid." From her crib, Emma noticed the dog and gave an excited squeal, reaching pudgy hands toward him. The rescue dog moved with extraordinary gentleness, sitting beside the crib where Emma could see him clearly. "She's not afraid," Rebecca observed with wonder. "After everything that happened, you'd think she might be traumatized, but the pediatric psychologist says she's showing no signs of lasting distress." "Children are incredibly resilient," Anna said, "and she had the best protection possible. You." Rebecca's expression grew somber. "I don't remember everything. I remember the storm getting worse, then the car sliding. After that, just fragments. I remember realizing the car wasn't visible from the road. I checked Emma first. The car seat had protected her, but she was getting cold. I wrapped my coat around her snowsuit, made sure she was secure. I told her I'd be back with help. Pain. Incredible pain when I moved. I knew my leg was broken. I could feel the bone." She shuddered. "But I kept thinking about Emma alone in the car, about how no one would find us unless I reached the road. I remember the tree falling," she continued. "I just reached that ridge when I heard a crack above me. I couldn't move fast enough." She looked directly at Anna. "The next clear memory I have is waking up here, 3 days later, with my parents telling me Emma was safe." "The doctors called it a series of miracles," Rebecca said. "The way the car crumpled but left Emma's seat intact. How I survived the initial crash. That I managed to climb as far as I did with those injuries. That your dog found us both before the second storm hit." Rebecca studied Rufus with wonder. "Why did you believe him when everyone else thought you should search elsewhere?" Anna considered carefully. "Because in 3 years together, he's never been wrong. I can't explain how he does it. But Rufus understands things on a level that goes beyond training. He knew you were out there, knew you were alive, and wasn't going to stop until we found you." As they prepared to leave, Rebecca asked one more question. "When you found me, was I still holding Emma's stuffed rabbit?" Anna turned back, surprised. "Yes, actually. It was clutched in your right hand so tightly that the paramedics had trouble getting you to release it, even unconscious." Rebecca nodded, tears filling her eyes. "That was her first gift from my parents. I grabbed it from the car before I started climbing, thinking if I didn't make it back, at least rescuers would know I had a child, that they should look for her." "You never stopped fighting for her," Anna said quietly. "Not for a single moment." Rebecca's smile was tinged with both sadness and profound gratitude. "And neither did you and Rufus. Thank you for believing he knew what he was doing when no one else did." As they left the hospital under a clear blue sky, Anna reflected on the extraordinary chain of events that had brought them all together. Rufus trotted beside her, untroubled by the questions that humans struggled to answer about intuition and the mysterious bonds that sometimes transcended explanation. "You knew," she said simply to her remarkable partner. "Somehow you just knew. Have you ever wondered what drives a rescue dog to continue searching long after others have given up hope?" The story of Rufus finding Rebecca and Emma Miller isn't just about canine training. It's about something deeper that science struggles to fully explain. Perhaps it's the result of thousands of years of coevolution between humans and dogs, creating bonds and understanding that transcend our logical comprehension. Or maybe it's something more mysterious, an intuitive connection that allows certain animals to perceive human needs in ways we're only beginning to understand. Have you or someone you know ever been helped by a rescue animal? Or perhaps you've witnessed an animal sensing something that humans couldn't detect? A coming storm, an unseen danger, or even illness in a family member? Share your experiences in the comments below. If this story of canine heroism touched your heart, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more incredible tales of remarkable dogs who go above and beyond. Press the notification bell to never miss our new uploads, and share this video with friends and family who appreciate the extraordinary bond between humans and their four-legged heroes. Check out our previous videos appearing on your screen right now, and we'll see you again tomorrow at same time with a brand new story.